what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Big Things Kentucky. Coach Bew, what's going on with you?
What's going on? Had no fear. Big Things is here. I'm Coach Bew, my main man, Coach TV on the Sabbath. Coach Truck was good. As always, make sure you subscribe, share, like, follow, pick your merchandise at Big Things Kentucky. We have an Instagram page. Coach Truck has got it up running. We post stuff on there. We do any type. We got all type of shirts stuff. Coach, we got it going, baby. Get some Big Things swag.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coach, man, we winding down, getting ready for these district tournaments. This week, we got on special guests. We talked with my team, my dark horse, baby, them Dunbar Bulldogs, Coach. We back off of COVID. Coach Chuck. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we got Dunbar, boys head coach, state champion, Coach Scott Chalk. Coach, how you doing with the season so far, Coach?
Well, it's not smooth. We're doing okay, but we just haven't been off and on here for the last 3 weeks or so with either COVID or now with the weather. So been kind of uneven, but we're getting through it, I guess, as good as anybody else is.
Coach, man, of course we know you're dealing with COVID and stuff. Had to cancel or reschedule quite a few games because of COVID. Do you feel like this has hurt your team as far as getting in a rhythm and implement a lot of things you want to implement with this team?
Yeah, there's no question. Going back to last year, the last part of the season, we finished like 8-3 our last 11 games, and we really started to catch on with this young group. And then we thought everybody back, and then we lost a couple of guys, Robbie Todd, Greg Todd's son, who went to Rowan County because they moved to Moorhead finally. So we lost a little bit, but we had so much come back. We thought we'd really have a great chance to go right on. And then when we didn't get to play in the summer and didn't get to do much in the fall, we finally got back together. It really has taken a while to I still don't feel like we're back to where we were and where I thought we would go from there. And so it took, the first couple months, and we took that time off in January and December. Then we started again in January, and I thought, well, we're starting to catch on again a little bit. And then we had a COVID shutdown. And we came back for a couple of days, and then we had this weather. So it's been really uneven. It's definitely kept us from – we're not playing anywhere close to our potential right now just because of the inconsistency of being able to kind of get in the groove, practicing and getting everybody on the same page. And, it's just been tough on these guys.
So this team, you guys are really talented. You're led by Tim Hall, a 20-10 guy. Coach, kind of tell us about this team. What is it going to take for you guys to challenge for this region?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I still think we got a chance to be one of the teams that can be right there at the end for sure. We've got talent. We have no seniors, so we'll have them all back again next year. So we really have a good, but we're trying to look at it like this is the year. We need to do it this year. We don't need to wait till next year. So we've been trying to talk to them about that when we've been able to. But we just have, we've got obviously Tim kind of starts with him. He's a dynamic talent, athletic, probably one of, if not the most athletic kids in the state, especially in his class. And so we just feel like, we kind of build off of him, but we've got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball and play really well. Nick Spaulding's coming on as a sophomore, who's a good guard that I'm sure you guys know about. And he's averaging about 15 a game right now. And, he had a hamstring pull early in the season. So then he missed a lot while everybody else was actually back. And then we got everybody else back and got him back with everybody else. And then we had the COVID. So he's just now starting to kind of get into the swing of playing, like he can play the last game or so. I thought he played well against Lafayette and really kind of played at the level that I think he can do our last game. And then we've got several guys that are shooting the ball, can really shoot. Max Van Dyke has been a good player for us, can really shoot the ball. Zach Carter's a good shooter and a good player for us. Nice sized kid, about 6'4", can do a lot of different things. And then, of course, we had Cade Hill, who's a junior, is a good athlete and played some guard for us. And then we've got some other sophomores that are just kind of coming on. Hunter Williams, Ben Haggard, Drew Barbie, guys that have played a lot of JV last year and then are we thought would play a ton of varsity this year, and they are playing even more than we thought because of COVID and injuries and different things we've had. So, and then of course we got the big guy. We got Lionel Kumwembe, who's our big guy, is just a junior, and he's gotten a lot better this year. And just his biggest thing is just getting used to basketball. He likes to learn. He loves to work out, and, likes to be there for practice and do extra stuff. I mean, he's been great. He loves that kind of stuff. So he's really excelled, and he's getting better and better. Sky's the limit for him. He may not come close to reaching his potential before he gets done with us. It may be at the next level before he even kind of tap into how good he can really be. So I think he's going to be great.
Now, Coach, having won a state championship and knowing what it takes and seeing what it takes, do you see some similarities between this team and the team you won it all with?
The timing of it is very similar in that we had that year like last year where we really thought we were better than our record was, and it took us till the end of the season. The last half, we kind of got it going. That's the same way we were in 2014-15, the year before. We were a lot better than our record, but we had some guys out at the beginning of the year with injuries. We had all kinds of problems. And then the last part of the year, we ended up playing really well. We went like 10-2 or something to end the year, but we had done so bad in the beginning. We had to play Catholic in the first round of the district, and we felt we were the two best teams, and they beat us on a last-second shot, and then they went on and went to the state. So then the next year we came back, we were sure, we were ready. We're going to be really good. This team doesn't have that confidence yet, that kind of swagger about them that those guys had. They just don't have the confidence level, and I think a lot of that has to do with COVID, because at the end of last year we were starting to kind of track towards feeling like, hey, we get this. We can actually do some stuff. We're good, and we're getting close, And then we took all that time off, and now it's kind of set us back. So I'm hopeful we can get it going again by the time we get to the tournament, but it may have set us back into next year. I hope that's not the case, but it's a matter of momentum a little bit and confidence. And that's something you can't fake. It's got to be there. You got to actually have it, and you got to feel it, and it's got to come together for you. And that's the biggest thing what the shutdown did to us. I felt like we were kind of on that same trajectory that we were with that team. And then all this time off has really kind of set that back a little bit.
What's it going to take for you guys to make this run and take the region?
Well, I think, we got to get consistent with our play. Our issue right now is we will play some good quarters, but we haven't played a solid good game all the way through. And so we got to get that consistency down a little bit. And some of that has to do with injuries and those kind of things and conditioning. But I think that's a big part of it, is being consistent, not being up and down so much. And that's still where we got to get better at. We've got talent. We've got some guys that can score in some different ways. Our defense, they understand what we're trying to do, and we play pretty good defense. But we have to get consistent, because there's teams right now like Catholic, they're, not way more talented than us, but they are way more consistent than we are right now. They're playing at a much smoother, more consistent level. Even Madison Central, I think, is playing a little more consistent right now. But I feel like talent-wise, all those teams are, they're fairly close. Douglas, we got 3 or 4 teams in there that anybody could beat anybody on a night. It's just we got to get consistent. So we've got to get, and that's what we've been working on, is trying to play through things and get consistent for 4 quarters. If we can get that done, I think we'll have a shot.
But Coach, real quick before we close that, you coached a lot of time, like I was speaking about, you coached a lot of time. Travion Hollingsworth, another kid on that team that was real good with the JUCO. And then Tim Hall, of course, put them great. Do you feel like kids in our area have to work 10 times as harder to be seen by these big schools and to give a chance? Because a lot of talent here, and I feel like it gets slept on. Do you feel like these kids got to work double time to get recruited?
I think there's some of that is true. I think, unfortunately right now we're in a situation where AAU and summer basketball is such a big factor in recruiting. I don't like that, but it's just a fact. You have to accept it. You can't change it. It's the model that's out there. And I think part of what hurts Kentucky, and always has, is that we don't have one group, one team that's really the team. You have a lot of, so we're never going to get a team that's going to play up in these high level circuits, because we divide all our talent up so much between all these little groups, and we never have one that's really good enough where they might get noticed enough to say, hey, yeah, you guys, we need to have you on one of these top circuits. And I think for recruiting for these kids, that's a big thing for Kentucky, because we are a small state. We could put together one team every year that could be competitive with a lot of these national teams, but we're not going to put 2 or 3 or 4 teams together like that. We don't have the depth of talent to do that. So as long as we keep dividing it up and we don't get one team that has most of the really good players in a class, we're going to struggle to get to that level. And so it's going to be up to us, like coaches like like myself, just calling and trying to hound these college coaches. You got to look at this guy. You got to see this guy. Here's who he's playing with. And that's just, unfortunately, that's part of it. One thing I will say that I think is a positive that you guys probably know about, being involved with the technology and pushing the game like you guys are, is some of the new stuff that's coming out with the technology and the way that these, like the NFHS cameras that we have in Fayette County now and some of that stuff is so easy for college coaches to tap into now and to see a lot of film. So I think we're getting to a point where it's getting easier and easier for these guys to watch guys on film. So I think the future maybe of recruiting, I hope, is that there's going to be a lot more film watching by these coaches where they don't have to, they're at this event, but there's kids over here I can't see because they're at this event. Well, now I can watch all of them. And I'm hoping that even the summer ball stuff, they start doing a lot more, putting this stuff online where people can watch it and see it. And I think it just only helps our kids, especially for exposure.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys for what you do. We appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Man, great interview with Coach Chalk, man. Coach Chalk had a lot of success at Dunbar. Been down the last few years, but as you mentioned in the interview, it's got a very young team, which is young again this year and next year. So sky's
no
limit for this
seniors
Dunbar
on the squad
team.
at all, Coach.
None at all. And like I said, he said last year finished year 8-3. He was on a little streak. Like I said, COVID called us. So, hey, nothing but sky's the limit for Coach Chalk now and the Dunbar Bulldogs.
All right, Coach, on the girls' side, man, we got the privilege to catch up with my #1 ranked Anderson County Bearcats, Coach. We doing big things this season. 15-0, Clay Birdwhistell.
Coach Clay Birdwhistell, Coach, you leading the Anderson Lady Bearcats, best team in the state right now, Coach. Do you feel like you're still under the radar? I hear Anderson County from everybody here and there, and to see what y'all done against some good teams, beat up on a good Franklin County team down there. Coach, I mean, how is it?
As far as rankings and what other people think about what we're doing and all that stuff, we just try to leave that to other people to talk about. It's fun, it's exciting, but at the end of the day, we just got to get better today, and that's what we're trying to do. At the end of the day, the wonderful thing about the Sweet 16 is everything, assuming that COVID doesn't shut it down, everything's going to be settled on a court. So, we'll just try to get better today, and we'll let everybody else talk about that stuff.
Now, Coach, you got I don't want to say young team, but your star, Miss Amia Jenkins, is just a junior. So you got another year with her. She's been dominating. You guys last year went to Sweet 16, beat a really good Franklin County team, put them out in the first round before it was canceled. I mean, the sky's the limit for the Bearcats right now, Coach. So how are we, how do you keep this going?
Well, especially being at a county school, it's probably run a little different than a lot of places. You take Sophie Smith, senior for us. I remember going to her upward games when she was in first grade. And we've literally watched these kids grow up. And that's something that we're always doing. I can tell you the best fourth grader in Anderson County right now. I mean, that's just what we do. And that's the way that we have to operate to be successful. We're not going to out athlete people. We're not going to be bigger, stronger, and faster on a year in, year out basis. So we've got to make sure that we have a process that we feel comfortable with and that our kids buy into. And it literally goes from kindergarten through 12th grade. In a normal year, I'm up at Saturday morning, going to watch kindergarten through 6th grade kids play in a league that we control and that we run. Okay. And it's something that we've run for a while. And it's really cool because if you're watching like the kindergarten, 1st grade games, it's high school kids. My players are reffing that stuff.
Oh, okay.
More times than not. So, it's really special to watch these young kids getting high fives from Sophie Smith or Tiffany Riley. That's a big deal. And because to those young kids, those are superstars. And it's neat to watch how the kids that are the little ones become the big ones and watch them go down and kind of raise the next generation, so to speak. We have high school players that go to 6th grade practice, and then we have a camp in July that will have 115 girls there. Man. And that's how we have to do it. We can't function any other way. Like I said, we're just not going to have the athletic pool that Butler, for say, is going to have year in, year out, or Mayo, or so and so forth. So we've got to do it that way if our goal is to compete at the highest level.
Now, Coach, of course, like I said, you've had a remarkable year. You've not lost a game yet. You've been pretty dominant. Speak of some of the young ladies who are making this season such a special season.
Well, you mentioned Amia Jenkins. She was a junior, as you said. I for my money, not only is she the best player in her class, but she's on a very, very, very short list of the best players in the state of Kentucky. I think she's the best defender in the state. What she can do individually and man to man, and what she can do as far as being disruptive in a zone system, is something like I haven't seen, just to be honest. And then we got 3 seniors that are, phenomenal players, and they're great leaders for our club. We got Sophie Smith, Rachel Satterley, Tiffany Riley. All 3 of those kids are going to play small college ball at the next level, and do a great job for us. We got a 6'1" center in JC Chester. And for the first time in a long time, our starting lineup is full of upperclassmen, which is nice to have some experience. You talked about, being at the state tournament last year. What an invaluable experience coming back into this year for those kids to have. And then, we got some young kids that we really like. We got another junior, Paige Serafini, a freshman, Jenna Satterley, and an 8th grader, Lainey Johnson, that are all contributing to us. And I think if you look at the scores, I think we've had 5 or 6 different leading scorers this year. We're not a team that has to have one kid come out and drop 20 for us to be successful. And I think that's one of the reasons that we've had some success this year is, everybody just has to do their job, and we're going to ride the hot hand.
We've noticed that a lot of teams that are led by upperclassmen have really kind of, dodged the COVID bullet. Coach, man, you guys have pretty much been unscathed as far as your program. What is it that you attribute to y'all, ducking this COVID?
Well, let me knock on wood real quick, first of all. But, I think some of it's just luck. I mean, we're trying to do the right things. We're making sure that, like when we go lift weights every day, that the kids got masks on. We're trying to make sure that we're following the protocols to the best of our ability and do that at a high level. But at the end of the day, there's just some luck involved in this. And it's scary to think of. You could do everything right. You could have your team in the best position, and you could play somebody at the end of the year that has a positive case, and your program could completely test. There's not a single COVID case in your program, and you still will not be allowed to compete in postseason competition. That's scary, especially considering what we lost last year. We were one of 11 teams left, and, like everybody there thought that they were going to win it, and they should. They wouldn't be there if they weren't. But, we thought that we had the best defensive team there, and we thought that we won an ugly game. And as you guys know, you watch basketball long enough, especially single elimination tournaments, you got to win an ugly game to win the thing. You got to have a little luck, and you got to win that game that nothing goes right. And it's a guts game. It's a grit game. And, we won that type of game against Franklin County. I mean, we couldn't get wet if we fell in the pool, but, that's just what, we just survived that situation. And I felt that we were in a really good place to go out and maybe win the thing.
Coach, man, what's it going to take for us to continue this run and take the championship at Rupp Arena this season, Coach?
Well, like I said, the first thing is we got to be healthy. We got to avoid COVID, and we got to make sure that, we don't have any catastrophic injuries as far as, losing kids for extended period of time. But the biggest thing that we try to do every day is we just got to get better. We're playing really good teams, and when you play teams of the caliber that we're playing, you get exposed somewhat. And we face a lot of really good programs with great coaches. They're going to try to find the little thing that you don't do well and expose that. And you want that to happen in the regular season. You certainly don't want to see that in RUP. And I think if we get better every day, if we can stay healthy, we're one of a handful of teams that could win the thing.
Coach, man, that's kind of the consensus we've heard. Like I said, we had Jared Peck on, spoke highly you all. We had Coach Thacker on and spoke how good of a team you are. So yeah, definitely sky's limit for this team. And like Coach Truck said, you all are young. So Coach, that ain't fair right there, Coach. Be this good and they're young. But yeah, we it's gonna be exciting to watch you all play this year. Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Man, great interview, Coach Birdwhistell, Coach, man. You know what? I tell you what, it's funny to hear, we this past Sunday on our Big Things Kentucky Sunday conversation, we talked to Ethan Ashley about building a program from the youth side. And to have Coach Birdwhistell come in and speak about that, having his own youth league. And also Coach Thacker has the same thing at Franklin County with the youth girl league. But it's good to see how hands-on Coach Birdwhistell is with that young group of girls.
Yes. And like Coach Ethan talked about, man, when you in those communities, those smaller communities, you got to build from the ground up to compete with the bigger city programs. I think that's something that we need to learn, as also Coach Chalk talked about when he talked about the AAU circuit, maybe putting together one team instead of, having all these different teams. Maybe we could find a way to put the best freshmen on one team or eighth grade, in the Lexington area, instead of having all these competing teams and people going out of town to play.
Absolutely. That same thing with youth football or whatever. You got to be able to put the best of the best on the team and go out here and represent. Because like I said, I think Lexington is slept on. The state itself is slept on as far as talent. There's a lot of talent here. So let's see. Something has to break. Like I said, you got to be able to merge, put the best kids on the teams to give a true showing of Lexington talent. You know what I'm saying? Just like Coach Birdwhistell spoke about also in the interview. He said, look, I can't go out and get the kids they have in these other big counties. He says, I got to build mine from the ground up and let it come through and develop. So, bigger than success him and Coach Thacker had with them, those all-girl leagues in their counties.
Yeah. Man, that's good stuff. And I agree with you, Coach Bew, man. It's something we might need to look at as far as consolidating to help get all our kids maximum exposure. Yeah.
Coach, man, great showing for a lot of local kids at the best of the Midwest. Glad that they able to put it on this year. And I'm telling you what, the kids from LCA look good. The Morris kid and our guy, Big Anthony.
Man, Coach, you see from Morris, man, there's some pictures of Morris chiseled up everything. Boy, look like
my son said Morris he eats them weights. He loves it over there. He loves eating them weights. Then you got to see Frederick Douglass. You almost forget about a guy like Terran Hicks, who's out all last year.
Yeah.
Man, just imagine how much he's going to add to that Frederick Douglass team.
Hey, them 85 Broncos, baby. My man, Caden Johnson.
Hey, Cade, I'm telling you right now, Cade, it's time to show up. Be nasty on these boys. You hear me? Do your thing. We know you got it in you. It's time for you to show it. Man, my guy, of course, Damon Green over at Bryan Station. Just going to be a junior next year, Coach. Oh, y'all better quit sleeping on this young man. He's going to be special. My guy, Xavier Brown,
LCA. Coach Bew.
Hey, I'm excited about next year. Hey, I'm excited about next year because I can't wait. A lot of young talent in the city. A lot of them. Tell you,
Coach, man, like you said, we're looking forward to a big year in football next season, man. Can't wait to get back into that. Hey, as always, great show.
All right, man. Hey, once again, before we leave off, Coach, let's remind everybody about our Sunday conversations. Our past week guest, Ethan Ashley, speaking about youth football. Coach, this week, you finally got one of your man crushes on the hook. Coach, you've been stalking this man at his house. You showing up at his kids' volleyball games everywhere, Coach. You've been there stalking this man. You finally got your biggest man crush of all man crushes, Coach Chris Wolf, Coach, from the Male Bulldog.
So check me out Sunday on our conversation on Big Things Kentucky. Don't miss
Coach,
it.
how you feel, Coach? I see you decided when your wife gave birth to your kids, Coach.
Hey, I'm ready, Coach. It's a good one too.
Man, look for that. So look for that this Sunday. It's a big Thanksgiving Sunday conversation. Coach, man, I know you're excited. Big show. Make sure you tune in this Sunday for Sunday conversations. Hey, man, as always, you should be a living donor. I'm Coach Bew, my man, Coach TV on the side of Coach Truck.
Hey.